Hi everybody, my name is Caden.
My name is Eli.
My name is Jaden, and we are the Yehuda Torah, and this is Youth for Yah.
We're so glad you are here with us. We are so thankful that you guys could join us today. We are here to train up the youth, to give them a little bit of live interaction here on YouTube. And we just want to go over, we're going to be in like Proverbs for a little while. We are going to be reading Proverbs. And we're going to be asking you guys if you have any prayer requests. And if you do, please put them down below in the chat. You guys can do live chat. You can do comments when the video is over. If you have any questions, please feel free to chime in and just type right up your question there. We will be answering them as soon as we see them. We also have a Telegram group where we have for youth, the youth that want friends, that need people to talk to, that need questions answered. We have a Telegram group, and we will plug that in the link at the very bottom, at the very end of that. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for helping us with everything. So we are going to be doing Proverbs 4. Eli, would you take it away and read for us?
Yeah, we're reading Proverbs because it is very good for the youth to understand and know, because Proverbs should be something that is instilled from a child's mind, and if they know Proverbs, they will learn to find wisdom and learn to find understanding.
Alright, Proverbs 4, verse 1. Hear, ye children, the instruction of a father, and attend to no understanding. For I give you good doctrine, forsake ye not my Torah.
Alright, so verse 1, and in my Bible, which is the Holy Scripture, I'm reading on Holy Scripture, it goes, children, listen to the discipline of a father, and give attention to know. So it really means like, listen to what I'm saying, pay attention. Don't ignore what I'm about to say, because this is very important. He says, in verse 2, he says, for I give you good doctrine, and forsake ye not my Torah. And because at this time, Shlomo was writing this, was a person of Yah, his Torah was the Torah of Yah. His commands were the commands from Yah, which were just the Torah. And for a little bit of those who don't know, what is the Torah, everyone?
That's the law. It's the first 5 books of the Bible. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, given to Moses from Yahuwah. They're the laws that he told us to keep for all generations.
Alright, so that is the Torah. If you guys want to, we are doing a series on that. If you guys want to check out the YouTube channel, you guys can start in Genesis, and then we are all the way up into Exodus at the moment, and we will be continuing on there. We don't have a specific schedule for that, but when we do upload, we will let you guys know.
Alright, verse 3. For I was my father's son, tender and only Yachid in the sight of my mother.
So he says that he's not saying that he was an only child, right? He's not saying this. He was saying that he was once a kid too. Like, he understands you are going to make mistakes. He's writing this because he knows that kids are going to make mistakes. He knows that what kids are like. He was once a kid.
He knows that kids are impatient. They don't want to learn. They fight.
Not all don't want to learn exactly, but they have a short attention span, right? You find things that are entertaining. Kids find different things, and this is why Proverbs is so important to us, is that we understand the ways to live, right? You understand what you need to do, and since he was a young kid, since he was young, he understands. This is why he's writing to us, because he doesn't want us making the same mistakes he made. That's why he made this for us. It's a good person. He sees his children in the future, and he's like, they're going to need this. They're going to need this for themselves. I'm going to write this for them so they know.
Verse 4. He taught me also, and said unto me, let your heart retain my words. Guard my commandments, and live.
So for those that don't know, Shlomo was the son of David, King David, or Dawid, and he was the king of Jerusalem for many, many years. And he was a person after Yah's own heart, is how he was described in the Bible, as a person after Yah's own heart. And that's a big deal, right? So he taught him many things. He taught him, it says in my Bible that he was taught to speak. He taught him speech and words. And he says to him, let your heart retain my words, guard my commandments, and live, right? And the commandments were also of Yah. Those were his commandments. I'm sure he had house rules, basic things, but the commandments he is talking about is the commandments of Yah. And he says, and live. So does that mean, when he says, if do not keep my commandments and die, that would absolutely mean what that is. That is the opposite of what is to keep my commandments and live.
Alright, verse 5. Get wisdom, get understanding. Forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth.
So he says get wisdom, get understanding. And now there's a lot of people that may not know, but how do you get wisdom?
Getting wisdom, you have to ask for from Yahweh, because wisdom is Yah given. Yah will give you wisdom. Now, knowledge and understanding different things. Knowledge you can find here on earth. You can learn about something. Understanding is a different thing. You understand you have to read the Torah. You understand the Torah. Understanding is almost from Yahoo as well.
So, yeah, he talks about get wisdom. He says get wisdom. And ways to get wisdom is reading the Bible, right? Reading and understanding the Bible. Diligently in the Word. Praying to Yah for the spirit of wisdom to come upon you, right?
Ask for wisdom. That's how Solomon did it.
And that was the way. That's what he says about get wisdom and get understanding. And don't forget wisdom, right? What you've learned from the Torah, because when you know the Torah, you are extremely wise.
Yeah, you can be, but you can also be foolish.
You can be right. You can have the Torah. You can be wise, and then you can do what it says not to do, and you can be foolish.
All right, verse 6. Forsake her not, she shall guard you. Love her, and she shall keep you.
So it talks about her, and we talked about this last time, but for those that do not know, when it refers to her is wisdom, which is a spirit of wisdom. It talks in the extracurricular books. That wisdom is a female spirit, and it sits next to Yah and everything like that. So, continue on.
Right, verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. And with all you're getting, get understanding. So
he says wisdom is a principal thing. Like, it's the most important thing to get, right? Of all the things in the world you can get, to get wisdom. And why is that so important that we get wisdom?
Because it's what Yahoo wants us to have. It's what we should have. It makes us wise and understanding. And if we don't have wisdom, we can fall astray, or we can get snared by stupid things. They take us as young children.
Right.
Verse 8. Exalt her, and she shall promote you. She shall bring you to honor when you embrace her.
So basically, if you receive the wisdom, it will basically give you a shine in the darkness, right? It will give you a light amongst a world that has no light, a world of darkness. When you have wisdom, you become...
It basically protects you.
It protects you. It makes you much higher of a person than the people that do not have wisdom.
But it doesn't make you better than them.
It does not make you better than them. It does not... But it makes you...
But it protects you.
It makes you much...
More protected.
Much more protected.
She shall give to your head an ornament of grace. A crown of glory shall she deliver to you.
Right, so basically you get a crown.
Right, you become, when you are wise, people put you on a pedestal, even though you should not get a big head out of that or get a big ego. When you are wise, people look to you to make decisions. They look to you to make these things because you're wise, that you know what to do in certain situations. People will look to you for those things because you know the Torah. You know that when someone does something sinful and the rest of the group wonders what to do, and you're wise because you learned the Torah and you wanted to know what it said, that you will know that you should not do and go off on the sinful path.
Hi, Yah's Kingdom is near. It's good to see you here with us today.
Verse 10. O my son, hear, O my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of your life shall be many.
So, in Proverbs, he says, Shlomo, this is Shlomo writing this, for those who don't know. He writes most of these, and towards the end, there's a couple other people that write the last few. But he says, if you do these sayings, if you receive them, basically receive was basically Shema, hear and do. And if you do them, the years of your life shall be many. Like, you will get many years out of this because you are going to not be doing the things the rest of the world is doing that is harmful to you.
Verse 11. I have taught you in the way of wisdom. I have led you in right paths.
So, he right here, he's like, this is the right way to go, right? And if you're questioning whether it is the right way or the wrong way, the Bible is absolutely clear on everything. You cannot deny the Bible due to its prophecies, due to everything, all the events that happen in this world. With those that have eyes to see and ears to hear, you understand the Bible is true in everything it does. There is nothing contradicting in the Bible that you will find that makes the Bible incorrect, that makes there another logical explanation for this earth.
Science cannot outprove the Bible. The Bible has outproven science so many times.
Alright, verse 12. When you go, your steps shall be straightened, and when you run, you shall not stumble.
So like we said, when you're wise, when you get wisdom, when you get understanding, when you understand these things, you are not going to stumble. You're not going to follow the path of sin.
You're protected. You know right from wrong. And when you know right from wrong, you have extra protection. But that doesn't mean you can't do wrong, because you can always do wrong. And if you start doing wrong, you lose the wisdom because you lose what you've been taught. So you guys got to stay on the path of holiness.
Verse 13. Take fast hold of instruction. Let her not go. Guard her, for she is your life.
So it says take fast hold of instruction. And another way of saying that is hold tightly to advice. Hold tightly to the words of wisdom. And when it says to hold fast to things like that, it says to hold tightly to instruction. It could be your mother or your father's or a parental advisor.
Even the Bible, or
even the Bible, like when you are getting advice, and it is very important as a younger generation to listen to the older generation on what to do, because they have been around many more years than us. They have all these experiences we don't have, we may not experience, but they've been through it. They know what to do in certain things and situations. Not to say that they are wiser or they are holier than people around us, but it is good to listen to those who have been there, done that, and dealt with that experience, and will be able to help you get through that.
Verse 14. Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men.
So like we said before, when you have wisdom, you see someone go off and sinning, you're not going to follow them. You're not going to do what they say.
Yeah, but if you see someone sinning, the best thing to do is try to bring them to Yahuwah. Try to bring them to the Torah and help them understand that they're sinning and they should not be sinning. And that you need to help them because it is the right thing to do, is to help them if they're sinning and you see them not being wise.
Avoid it. Pass not by it. Turn from it and pass away. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall.
So there are people in this world you're going to find who do not have the Torah, who have let Hasatan enter their lives, who let darkness overcome them. And they have to do something wrong all the time. They have to do something evil in the sight of Yah all the time. They have an itch to do it. And if they don't, they can't sleep, right? It bothers them if they have not done this thing. It's like when you know you've done something wrong, and it bothers you and it keeps you up at night, right? It's like the same thing for them, but in reverse. They haven't done something evil. They haven't done something, so it keeps them up there. It bothers them. And that is something you want to stay away from. Shalom says, do not go near it. Do not go close to it. Turn away from it. Go away. Just leave that place. Do not get mixed into that group.
Verse 17. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. But the path of the just is as the shining light that shines more and more into the perfect day.
And I want to elaborate more on that verse because it says, the path of the just is like a shining light. When you go out into this world and you have the Torah, you have a different essence to you. You have a different, when you have your zizits on, when you go out into this world and you are walking as a child of Yah and not a child of the world, you are different. People question you. You are what Yahuwah said, a peculiar people. People ask you, what are those zizits? Well, why do you do what you do? What is this? When you, the manner and the way which you speak is different. Everything you do is different, contrary to the world, right? You don't want to be near the world, so you talk like the Bible talked. You were not foul-mouthed. You were not slanderous. You are a person that is holy, that speaks calmly to the people, that speaks softly and gently.
Full of love.
That is a person that is full of love. And people don't have that light because this world is ruled, unfortunately, by Hasatan. At the moment, it is ruled by Hasatan. And so when we go out, we are what you remember when Yeshua says, don't hide your light under a bushel, right? Don't take your candle and put it in a basket. He said don't do that because we are that light. And when we hide ourselves, when we try to cover up with the world to be different, so we are not, so we do not get outcasted, we are putting our light under a bushel because there are so many lives you can save just by going out and being of the Torah, doing what Yahuwah wants you to do.
Alright, verse 19. The way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not at what they stumble. My son, attend to my words. Incline your ear unto my sayings.
So, again, he's like saying, pay attention. Pay attention. And it is so important that, especially as youth, you're going to want to pay attention. No matter what. Because there are going to be times in the future when your parents have told you something and you're going to remember those words in your head. You're going to be like, all right, they said this to me. This is what I need to do in this certain situation. And it may not be now. It may not be 10 years. It could be 30 years down the road. It could be so many years down the road.
And hi, and Nupakashi Kuwait. I hope I pronounced that right. Let me know how to pronounce that. It's good to see you here with us. I'm glad you are here with us, brother or sister.
So yeah, absolutely pay attention to the words of wisdom, to the advice of the people of Yah, right? It's your parents, especially your parents, because they want what's best for you. They don't want what's worse for you. They want what's best for you, even if it seems difficult, even if it seems hard. They want what's best for you no matter what.
Alright, verse 21. Let them not depart from your eyes. Guard them in the midst of your heart.
Right? He says, don't let his words, like the words of the Torah, the words of instruction, the way that they raised you, do not let that depart from your eyes, and do not let that go from your heart, because when you accept the world, you become an evil person. When you forget what you have been told and you choose the world over Yah, you become possessed. You're able to let the demons in. You let down your hedges around yourself.
Alright, verse 22. For they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life.
So, it says, keep your heart with all diligence. And now, why would you want to keep your heart with all diligence?
If you want to keep your heart with all diligence, it's because you want to be focused. You don't want to let Hasatan take you. Because Hasatan, if you slip up or do some evil, Hasatan will enter demons into your life. He will make sure your life is terrible. If one little sin lets Hasatan in, so you must be very diligent not to break the Torah.
Yeah, your heart, even though it's a muscle, there's something important with the heart. It talks about the heart, and the heart is a way to the soul, right? And your heart is what people say controls your emotions. And so, since it controls your emotions, if you don't guard it with diligence, if you are not focused to stay in the Torah, to stay on the path of righteousness, one slip up and you could lose your soul just like that. That's why it says, for out of it are the issues of life.
And hi Shayla, good to see you here with us as well.
Alright, verse 24. Put away from you a froward mouth, and perverse lips put far from you.
So basically it's like, do not speak evil, like keep your mouth away from cursing, right? Everyone has slip-ups from time to time. Everyone has things they say that they wish they didn't say, right? And that's why it says this, because when you say these things, words cannot be unspoken. Words are, well, swords. Words hurt worst of all than anything. Words are very, very powerful things, right? By Yah's words, he spoke life into existence, right? He said, let there be light, just by a few words. And that goes to show how powerful words are. So when we speak words of wickedness, or we speak something that is not holy, that is not just, but evil, and with an evil intent, we are sending what is scientifically vibrations. We are sending evil vibrations to people.
Verse 25. Let your eyes look right on, and let your eyelids look straight before you.
So it says, let your eyes look right on, and let your eyelids look straight before you, because on the path, on the narrow path, right, that leads to success, that leads to salvation, if you look off that path, you're going to fall off that path. It's like when Peter, when he was out in the river, when he said, Yeshua, Jesus, tell me to walk out on the water with you. And he started looking around and freaking out. He started sinking. And that's the same for us, right? We are walking across the water right now, full faith in Yah. And the moment we look around, and the moment we take our eyes off Yah, we are going to sink.
Right.
Verse 26. Ponder the path of your feet, and let all your ways be established.
Like, watch where you're going, like, in life and in spiritually, right? You don't want to trip and fall over what you're doing. You don't want to trip and stumble in the Word.
Verse 27. Turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove your foot from evil.
So, yeah, keep your feet away from places that are evil, right? Keep that from the things that are bad. You want to stay in the path of righteousness, on the narrow path, because the wide path that leads to destruction is very easy to get onto, right? And once you're on that path, you have to work very hard to get back off it. So you want to stay on the path that is narrow, that is righteousness, the path that will bring you salvation, because this world may have promising things. This world may look great from a different perspective, right? But truly it is dark. Truly it is not the way of light. It is not the way of happiness. It is not the way of anything else but death and destruction. And so if you are on the path, the straight and narrow path, it's going to be rough. It's going to be hard. But it's going to lead you. In the end, you are going to feel more content, more filled than on the path of the world.
All right, so a little earlier today on a video that Jason did, we got a comment, a very good question. This could probably turn into a whole sermon if we needed to be. It's from Adi, my believer of his name. She says, I have a question. Do you still love your neighbor as yourself, even if you're not? Even if they're not even Torah believers, and if they make a joke about the Most High. It's sad they're not Torah believers, but they still grew up like that, and money is all that is important to them. My mother did try helping them, but they just make a joke about everything. Oh well. I won't judge a book by its cover. So, should we still love our neighbors, even if they slander Yahuwah? Now, a lot of people will say no, a lot of people will say yes. But we gotta think, what would Yehoshua do when he got cursed? What did the disciples do? What did these people do when they got cursed? They loved their neighbors. They forgave them. Yehoshua was on the cross, on the stake. He was dying. And he asked his father, he says, please forgive them. The people are killing him. It's a brutal death the way he died. And he says, please forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. And so I would say, yes, you need to love your neighbor. Because if you show love and compassion to your neighbors, you have a chance of turning them over to Yahuwah.
It's like we talked about earlier. When you go out into the world and you walk in the way of Yahuwah, you are different than what the rest of the world sees. And people are interested in different people, right? People are interested in understanding what is it that makes you different, right? And when you show love and compassion, you speak gently to these people. And unfortunately, the world takes everything as a joke these days. Nothing is serious, especially their souls. That's the most serious thing it could be. That's the most important thing in life is your soul. You must not lose your soul. People don't care about their souls. They care about the next day. How are they going to make the money this day? Are they going to be rich? Are they going to be famous? Are they going to have all their worldly desires? And that is not what we're called on this earth to do. We are called here to be righteous, to be Yah's people.
To be servants.
Right. Yeshua, even though in times he did all these miracles, he performed all these things, all these great things, and the Pharisees still crucified him. Not everybody is going to turn, but you absolutely have to try your best to minister to these people, whether it's through simple conversations. You just mention something from the Bible and then they go into it, think about it later, or you have a full talk with them. If you are close to them, you have a full-on talk with them. Say, hey, brother, sister, cousin, whatever it is. Say, I'm worried about your soul, and I just want to have a talk to you. I want to explain to you the Bible, and I want to explain to you what our Messiah did for us and what we can do to have better lives, because this is an important topic. This is an important thing to talk about, that we are on our path. We are on the path to hell. We are on the path to weeping and gnashing of teeth, but there's a way we can get off it, and if you would just take the time to listen, just a couple minutes, I want to explain to you these things, and who knows from there? Just let the Ruach take over. Let the Spirit of Elohim take over, and do your ministering to that person. If anything, just show love and compassion to these people, right? Not everybody is going to be saved, right? Not everybody is going to.
Not everybody makes it.
Not everyone makes it. It says in the Bible, not everyone makes it, right? It's a sad thing. Unfortunately, the people we love around us, our neighbors, our family, not everybody wants to listen. Not everybody wants to be a part of that. But the only thing you can do is try, right? You have to go in there and you have to try what he says.
Yeah, and when you're friendly and happy and kind to people, people will want to listen to you. They want to hear what you say because they want to know why you're happy, why you're helpful, why you're kind. And
why do you do what you do?
Yeah, and when you get mocked, you can't get angry or upset. It's going to happen. I mean, Yehoshua was killed for this. And you're not being killed for it. You're just being mocked. Some few words, right? You have to dust it off and move on.
If you need to look at a good example is Yeshua himself, right? He's up there and he's being questioned. He's like, people up there lying about him saying, you said you were this, you said you did this. And he didn't respond, right? He stayed quiet, he stayed peaceful. And they hit him and he did not hit back. He could have easily wiped them out. He could have sent meteorites, he could have sent fire, he could have sent anything and wiped them out. He sent legions of messengers, like he said, before I would send legions of messengers to stop this. But he wanted to do the will of his Father. He wanted to save as many people as he could. And that's why the Roman soldiers in the end, when he's like, Father, forgive them what they know, for they know not what they do, and he said, it is finished. The Roman soldier got down and he's like, truly, this was the Son. This was the Savior, and I missed it. He's like, this was the Savior, and I hung him up on a cross. Can you imagine the way it changed his life? The way he's like, this guy, he didn't do anything evil, but he acted holy. He acted just in everything he did. And that's the way we have to be in life, is that we have to be willing to be hung up on the stake for the name of Yeshua, right? To change the people, because not everyone is going to receive the message the same. Some are going to change their lives, turn their lives around, and become great people, great servants of the Most High. But others will not. Others will go darker into the world and look for something else, because the world is very appealing to a lot of people, and if you do not have the eyes to see, you do not have the spirit of Elohim in you, you can get ensnared in it, and it is very dangerous to do that.
And a lot of times, you just gotta go and talk to somebody, start a conversation, be happy, friendly with them. Because a lot of times people are looking for change in life. People want to know the truth, but they don't know where to look for truth. So you can be the starting of truth. Can you tell us about the story on the bus where you met the one guy?
Yeah, so we've talked about it a little bit before, but we were on a trip to the city. We had to do a little bit of business, a little bit of things there. So we were on the bus, and we got up there in the morning, and we missed a bus. We were gonna try and get into Panama City early. It's a 7-hour trip, and we are trying to get there. And since it takes so long, we missed our bus. Right, this bus passed us. He wouldn't pick us up, and it was frustrating. Right, you're like, all right, we're now gonna be a little later. The bus usually takes 30-40 minutes to get there. You're going to be a couple hours later now due to delays and stops. And because of this, it was frustrating, right? But then another bus showed up. And we get on the bus, we sit down, we find our seats. You just get in there and you sit down. That's how it works here. And so the way this happened was, this man was sitting, he was listening to a sermon, and they started praying to Jesus, and they started talking about how it was grace, grace, grace. And by the end of it, I sat there with him for about 20 minutes listening to that sermon before I said anything. And then I asked him, I said, hey, are you Christian? And he said, yes. And I said, what if I told you Christianity wasn't all there was to the Bible? What if I told you more? And I started explaining to him the Torah. I started saying, hey, remember when Yeshua came down and he said, keep my laws. Remember he said, I do not know you. And I explained to him the Torah. I explained the basics of the Sabbath, the Shabbat. And by the end of it, he was in tears, right? He was like, I've been looking for this moment my entire life. He's like, I was praying for the last 3 or 4 days. I've been praying for days now on what to do. And this morning, I just started looking for sermons, looking for an answer from God. What do I do? And he's like, and you came, and he goes, a messenger sent you today. An angel sent you today on this trip. And I explained to him I missed my bus. He goes, it was God's will I found this. He goes, now I encourage him to read his Bible with his family. He said he's going to begin in Genesis, and he's going to go all the way through it till he understands the Bible. He's going to read with his family every night. And it was really just a great thing. It's a great feeling to have someone that will accept the Torah. But you have to also be willing to accept the feeling that they won't accept the Torah.
And it can't be anger. It's got to be okay.
Love. It's you can definitely feel disappointed, but it's got to be love and acceptance. And just keep trying, keep praying for them. And just be holy in everything that you do, because your Father is holy.
All right. Do we have anything else, guys?
If you guys have prayer requests, if you guys have questions, please let us know. We have a Telegram link. We will put in the description. We are done when this video. It's already in the description?
Yep.
All right, so it's already in the description. If you guys want to join that, feel free just to click that. It is under a Telegram. We already have a few people there, wonderful people. They love Yah.
Yeah, it's a chat, hang out, talk about the Bible, questions. Just talk about Torah life or how life is different for us. And so I think that's all.
That's everything. All right. If you guys have any questions, again, just let us know. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you guys. All right. Shalom.
All right. Shalom.
Shalom.